predictions. Before we keep going though, Tennek, go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
What's going on, guys? My name is Tennek127. I run a YouTube channel called Tennek127 Gaming. I've been a good friend of Jay's here for God, how long now? At
Jeez,
least
freaking years. I don't know. We like in what, middle school, high school. Fuck, man.
yeah. And I'm 28 years old now, so I'm gonna say 14 plus years at least.
Yeah, at least, at least. Yep. Yep. I myself, 28 as well. And like you said, we've known each other for a very long time. Gaming and gaming goodness all around. But let's go ahead and hop on in to these freaking E3 predictions that I don't know. I get excited every time E3 comes around. Like a giddy little girl.
Dude, I don't blame you.
Giddy little girl.
It's a gamer thing, man. It's a gamer thing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So let's go ahead and start off. Let's go in order on the actual conferences that's going to be taking place Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and so on. I think, when does it end? Do you know when? I think it's like Wednesday. I don't even. I stopped watching after that. Honestly.
Yeah, I want to say Wednesday. It is it the 12th through the 14th or the 13th through the 15th? I can't remember.
I think it's
I can't
12.
remember.
Yeah, it's the 12th.
Okay.
Yeah, Sunday. Monday's 12th.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go ahead and go in order. All right, and the first up now is EA. Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you care to start us off there, Tennek?
Of course. For EA, I'm gonna say prediction-wise, we're gonna definitely learn some more about Titanfall 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking they're definitely gonna have add some type of story or a co-op campaign or something. Well, they have said there's gonna be a story mode to it, obviously, but I think because they were lacking so much in that area in the last game, that they're going to be as immersive with it as possible. Maybe even a co-op campaign. Maybe the story mode will be full on 4 players or more.
That
Kind of like how they did like Black Ops 3. I wouldn't say going somewhere as far as like Destiny or something in co-op, but I definitely think a 2 or 4 player story mode would be pretty cool, and I think we'll probably get to see like some multiplayer and all that good stuff too. Because I know they did say they were revealing the full game sometime this month, so I'm guessing E3 would be the perfect place.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, so my prediction for good old EA is I would say we'll learn a little bit more about this Star Wars game that Aiming Hitting and the chick from Assassin's Creed forgot that girl's name, but yeah, I think those two are actually going to come out with something, and they're going to actually release a title. We might get a trailer, maybe some gameplay if we're lucky, but I do think they're going to come out and showcase that a bit.
Yeah, definitely. I do think they're gonna show us some more of that as well. They have been talking about that a lot this year, and I want to say honestly a lot since Battlefront launched. So I think they're gonna give us a little bit of a tease.
Oh yeah,
Something.
hopefully.
I think we're gonna see something of it.
Hopefully, man. If this E3 goes by, we don't get no Star Wars news, I'm gonna be kind of sad.
Oh man. So
So what's next? What's next on EA's agenda? You predict for this E3?
All right. Okay. Well, I've been doing a little bit of research. I've seen it brought up a few times in a few gaming articles and on IGN. All I know is that there's going to be some type of or supposed GTA killer that ETA is working on. Now, I don't know if it's going to be some type of open world game like GTA. I don't know if it's going to be a GTA or a Saints Row kind of thing, or some whole different concept that doesn't even involve like the thuggish play style of the game. But I would guess since it's since the game was labeled a GTA killer or competitor, right. I would guess as somewhat something of that similar nature.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But I personally think that They do have a couple big guns that they're going to bring out. You know, they've shown us Battlefield 1 and stuff already, and of course, you know, they have Titanfall and stuff like that. But I think that EA, especially with, you know, a little bit of their down reputation from how things went with Battlefield 4 and Hardline. But don't get me wrong, Battlefield 4 is a great game now, but you know, compared to launch, yeah. But I think, you know, they're definitely gonna, you know, come out with something crazy this time around. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh yeah. And to top off the E3 predictions for EA, speaking on that note of them trying to win the crowd back, so to speak, I think, what if they just like pulled a hard line and went for a Battlefield 1 open alpha right there on stage?
Dude, I'm telling you one thing. If they do that on stage, I will be shutting that press conference off and downloading immediately.
Dude, like literally, that would knock off everyone's socks. Like that'd be the knockout punch before E3 really even starts, because they get a whole day to themselves. EA.
Yeah, I'll be downloading that on the PS4, and I'll have freaking IGN's just YouTube thing like just sitting up on my phone. I'm not gonna be paying attention to that shit anymore.
Oh man, it's gonna be amazing. Gonna be amazing if they did that. That'd be awesome. But we're gonna go ahead and move on to Microsoft. I just feel like I think they're gonna hit really hard this year, man. I feel it in my nuggets, dude, because they've been getting shit on for like 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years. I think they're done.
They've been weighed, and the thing is, Phil Spencer, right? I follow him on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
He's so calm and cool about everything. And it's just like, you know, the way that they were beating us last time, you know, 360 versus PS3.
Yeah. Yep.
I just can't picture Phil's. I swear Phil's just sitting there with his arms crossed, just looking at all those PlayStation guys like, I got you, motherfuckers, man.
Don't even know. Don't even know the hurt I'm about to unleash.
He's like, y'all have no idea.
All right, but let's see. All right, let's see what we got here. All right. So, I'm gonna go ahead and start it off. Here's the big hitter, I think. That since Sony at this time has already said that their PlayStation 4.5 or PlayStation Neo will not be there at E3, right. I think Microsoft is going to showcase the hardware. I think they're even going to give us a price point. We may not get a release window or a roundabout, but I think they're going to at least do those two.
Right. Yeah, definitely. The only thing that really confuses me about their new hardware is the first rumor was that the Xbox One was going to be upgradable.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was, you know, the rumor of like this, you know, the whole console coming, this Xbox Scorpio thing or whatever. I'm just wondering, which is it, or is it both, or is this Xbox Scorpio a piece of upgradable hardware for the Xbox One?
And see, wow, that's a good way of thinking about it, because they never really specified if this is like a upgraded console. I don't think so anyway. I haven't seen it, or if this is
like the only thing I know is it's called Project Scorpio. Yeah, like I have no idea.
And man, that'd be a blow to Sony, because everyone already know this is a whole new box. And that, oh man, hey man, this might be that sneaky blow that Phil Spencer's got his arms crossed for. Yeah, this could be it.
Yeah, dude, he's waiting, man. That dude's got something up his sleeve, man. I look at that dude's Twitter every day, and I'm just like, and mind you, you know, he went on a conference, and you know, just flat out admitted defeat and everything. He was like, you know, I'm proud of Sony and blah blah blah. I'm like,
wow.
I'm like, dude, you were kicking our asses last generation. There's no way you're just like, whatever.
Yeah, there's no way. Not from Microsoft. But moving on, what do you think? Well, what do you think it would be your predictions for Microsoft this year?
All right. Well, my biggest thing that I was anticipating with Xbox One, especially getting into it recently, was this game Scalebound. It was an an open world RPG that I actually didn't even notice till I took a good long breakdown of the trailer that actually has multiplayer
Hmm.
integrated as well. Towards the end of it, I noticed the main character had like 3 or 4 friends with him, all with gamer tags above their heads, and using that same character but like with different class type weapons and stuff against like I guess some type of raid boss or something.
Hmm.
And I'm personally, I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing a lot more about that game because especially with the studio that made that one RPG, the studio Microsoft just lost. I can't think of the name of it.
Um, Linehead,
The ones that made, yeah, the ones that made
Linehead,
Fable, yeah.
Linehead.
Them losing them, especially the Fable Legends being a free to play RPG that was coming.
Yeah,
Microsoft is going to need some type of kick ass RPG to fill in that spot, and Scalebound might just be able to fill in that gap if they do it right.
that would be awesome. Like for real, I actually need to see this game again because I do remember. I remember it now that we done brought it up, but yeah, Scalebound that might actually be like a wow. I'm about to say this. It might actually make me want to get my Xbox One. I don't know, but anyway,
Yeah.
but okay. So all right, my next prediction for Microsoft would be following this game called Core. I think that's what it's called.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's what it's called. Core. And I think it's going to be a gameplay showcasing. This game has literally been asleep since the announcement. We haven't heard squat on that. I know I haven't heard anything.
Yeah. Me
Um,
either. It's
so I
been
think,
really quiet on that one.
yeah. So I think they're gonna, kind of push this back out there and be like, oh, here's some gameplay. Here, this is how it works. Some type of gameplay showcasing.
Right, right, right. Definitely, definitely. I'm interested in seeing, what that's gonna be like. It did look like a very cool, interesting kind of game. I definitely want to see, what that's gonna be about.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But I also have one more from Microsoft, which I was thinking, I don't know if it's necessarily going to be called Halo 6, but I think we're going to learn something about the next Halo game. The reason I think that is because everyone's been saying, and even Microsoft said themselves after they made Halo 5 that they were already preparing for the next game. And Halo 5, don't get me wrong, it's still in the middle of its life cycle. It's doing great. It's getting tons of free DLC.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I have to give to Microsoft is they're doing the FPS genre right. The only thing they're charging people for is literally skins and ways to purchase cosmetic DLC, which is the way
It should
shooters
be.
should be. They're following the Counter Strike formula, and Counter Strike is the most successful FPS on the market right now, next to Call of Duty.
Oh yeah.
But them coming out saying that, hey, we're not done, and especially, no offense to Call of Duty, but the hate that it's getting right now. Anyone who wants to swing, another shooter into the mix to throw some competition in there to, to strike a little fear into Activision, this year is the perfect time
Oh yeah. Oh
because
yeah.
that'll also, show Activision and let them know that they can't sleep on the FPS community anymore. They need to take things a little bit more seriously. And that's no disrespect to, Infinity Ward and Infinite Warfare, because me personally, I'm excited about Infinite Warfare and, the COD 4 remake, but I just think, that Activision does need a little bit of a wake-up call, and I think that the more shooters that come out, demonstrating and showing that they're going to give what players want, the better. And Halo 5, doing that one thing right now for the Xbox community, Microsoft stepping out and saying, hey, we're not done there, baby. We're just
Right.
getting started. Will definitely be a good thing on their part. I mean, they already did the smart part and, got the partnership with Battlefield, for
Yeah.
this year. So,
That's what I'm saying,
I
man.
mean,
It's a tough year for shooters, period, right now. And Call of Duty,
yeah,
at their time right now, this is the lowest. This is the lowest popularity I've ever seen them at. And you got things like Titanfall 2, which has potential. You got Battlefield 1, which everyone's going to be hyped for. And then if they announce a Halo 6, dude, like, that's the nail in the coffin, bro. Let's go ahead and move on to Ubisoft. Here we have some, we got some potential games out here, but we all know Ubisoft's history. And I'm a sketchy man when it comes to Ubisoft. I don't know if I'm seeing gameplay or just some beat up gutter chick that's just got pretty makeup on. I want a housewife, Ubisoft.
Right.
All right, so the first E3 prediction that I have would be For Honor. I think For Honor is going to get a launch window. I think this game needs a launch window by now. They actually just released a trailer not too long ago before this recording that they, the Vikings are coming. They're about to show off the Vikings, man. It's about to get dirty.
Oh, nice.
Hell yeah. Valhalla. Get your meat. So that's pretty cool.
They should give us some type of launch window for that. Maybe not an exact date, but I think, they'll put like some type of trailer and maybe say like, winter 2016 or, something like that, whenever the launch window is going to be.
Right. All right, so
let's see here. What I was thinking more was we're probably going to get some more Division DLC news, and because like they've already said that there's a leak on Amazon telling that when the DLC date is going to be for the first one. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I haven't got to look on Amazon.com and see what that date is, but I think we're going to get to see some gameplay and stuff like that, because the Division had a bit of a rocky start. Me personally, I enjoy the game. I like it. I think it's I personally look at the Division as like the World of Warcraft for a military guy. that's how I see the game. But I think if they release an expansion, do it right, give people a fair amount of content, because the thing with games like that and Destiny is, and when it comes to any MMO, period, you just need to put something to keep the players busy. That's why the gear grind is always the most common things for MMOs. And the Division, honestly, they were teasing raids and talking about raids for a while, and I know they have the incursion things going on, but show off one of these big raids that y'all were talking about, if they're actually coming. Let us show us that there's going to be a big amount of content, just stuff to keep us busy to the next DLC, because they're hitting people with content. They're giving people new gear, new stuff to work for, and look forward towards. But we'll see what they're going to do.
We'll see. Hopefully it'd be something good though. I'm really hoping for the Division. But my next prediction for Ubisoft at E3: Wildlands release date. I'm doing it. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's see here. What are you thinking?
Wildlands release date December 6th. And here's why.
Definitely sounds reasonable.
Yeah, because, okay, all right, so we have Watch Dogs release date November 15th.
Right.
There's no other Ubisoft title that's got a release date right now. There is no Assassin's Creed this year, mind you.
Very true.
They need some more titles. Therefore,
yeah, especially for the holiday season.
Yes, they're gonna at least get 3 games out there for holiday. Now, Wildlands. I say Wildlands before. Crazy. It would be crazy, dude. Like, seriously, man, you drop that on me. This holiday is freaking packed right now. It's just nuts. From December to December, I'm gonna be. To September from December. Did I say that right? Yeah, whatever. I'm going to be packed. Like, it's just going to be dropping money.
Hey, yeah, dude. I'm going to be once September, October area hits. I'm going to be broke. We got that. We would have that. We have Final Fantasy 15. We got the new Call of Duty. We got Battlefield.
I'm getting Gran Turismo. Like, my life.
Oh yeah, that's Gran Turismo.
My life. Oh, Titanfall 2, Battlefield 1. Like, make it stop.
To apply for a second credit card.
For real, man. For real. All right. Last on the list for Ubisoft. What do we got there? Tennek, what do you say? What do you say?
All right. I was thinking a new Rayman game, but I just think possibly some type of platformer because, like we were saying, their launch for the winter, their game launches is looking kind of weak. They don't really have too many dates out there or much known titles. So them dropping, a little platformer or indie game in the mix would make sense, especially a classic like Rayman or something, or even if it's a brand new IP in general.
Right. Yeah.
It would be, a really helpful and good thing for Ubisoft. I think we're going to see something new from them. Now, whether it's a platformer or not, I'm not quite sure, but I'm betting heavy on a platformer, even possibly a new Rayman game.
Yeah, because they got like all shooters right now. With no Assassin's Creed, they got all shooters. Well, I'm sorry. With For Honor, they do have a melee game, but other than that, shooters. All right, so moving on to our last conference of that day.
Oh yeah,
of Monday. My favorite. Oh ho ho, the bread and butter, the granddaddy of them all. Sony. Let's start off with Tennek, man. What do you think? What is your predictions for Sony?
All right, I'm gonna dive right in, and this is a bold one,
right,
but
hitting hard.
I want to know. I want to see more, and I want to hear more about Kingdom Hearts. Now, Sony and Square Enix, they showed us a little teaser trailer for 2.8. But news when it comes to Kingdom Hearts 3 and stuff and what the community's been asking for has been dry. Square Enix never ruled out the possibility of the Kingdom Hearts remakes that they put on PS3 coming to PS4.
True.
Now, their whole PS2 to PS4 gig also brings me another idea. Because Square Enix, they're busy. They have a lot on their plate. The Final Fantasy VII remake, Final Fantasy 15, Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy World. You name it, they got all kinds of stuff going on.
7.
If y'all, and they're not going to want to leave. The worst thing to do would be to release Kingdom Hearts 3 and leave so many people, who never got to play the first two because, they're on old generation consoles. Like Kingdom Hearts was released on PS2.
Yeah.
And all the side stories are on like Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, PSP, and stuff like. Do you know how hard it is to get a copy of Birth by Sleep right now? Like the best thing for them to do would either A, put the remakes on PS4, or B, just port the PS2 versions to the PS4. We've been lacking a lot of PS2 to PS4 games anyway.
Right.
They did put polls up on Twitter months ago, like after they'd started that project last year, saying vote for the games you want to see most on PS4 from PS2. I personally think that at E3 they're gonna drop a ton of those PS2 games that got high votes on us, and I know for a fact that they do that, both Kingdom Hearts games would be in those numbers.
That'd be awesome. Just can you imagine downloading or picking up a disc that has every Kingdom Hearts ever made? How many games is that?
Jesus Christ, dude! I don't even think that would all fit on one disc.
Look, what the hell, man? That's a lot of game. That'd be awesome, man. That'd be awesome, and they kind of owe not even kind of. They owe their fans that by now, dude. We've been waiting forever for Part 3. All right, moving on. My predictions for Sony. My first prediction for Sony would be, I'm gonna go ahead and say a Naughty Dog teaser of whatever title they're working on at the end of their conference. Naughty Dog's ending it off the way they did Uncharted 4.
That is a possibility. Well, because Naughty Dog would be the ones to do it. And the thing is, like, all of their games lately, especially, since Uncharted, their games have just been epic, cinematic, and just crazy. Like, I've never seen, like, how many shooters do you see nail story mode and multiplayer
None.
perfectly.
None.
Like
One's
Uncharted and The
always
Last of
lacking.
Us have been the only, have been the only one that to ever do it. Like, don't get me wrong, like Battlefield and Call of Duty, they're great games, but
Not
their bread and
story-wise.
butter is always multiplayer.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, not titling this Naughty Dog tease. What title do you think they would even tease? You know, I mean,
My personal, me honestly, I would say The Last of Us 2. It's been rumored for a while, and I think seeing some of the main characters from The Last of Us, just stepping out in some teaser trailer,
oh yeah,
utilizing the power of the
that,
PS4.
oof, yeah.
I think that would be Sony's way of just putting their arms out to everybody and being like, what?
Right, yeah, that's a mic drop right there. That's kind of a
Like
mic
even if Phil Spencer came out with the guns I said he was going to, they'd just look at him like that and they'd just be like, you're gonna have to try harder, baby.
drop. Right. Now the title that I think if Naughty Dog came out at the final teaser, it was like, oh boom, another mic drop, I think, would totally be a new Crash Bandicoot. It's been floating around
definitely.
a little bit, and I'm willing to bet that it just may be a Crash.
Yeah, and dude, they didn't put that little teaser in Uncharted 4 for nothing.
Yeah, come on.
Something's happening.
Too convenient, too suspicious, man.
Yeah.
All right, so what else do you got for Sony? What is your next E3 prediction? Well, your
Okay.
final E3 prediction.
All right, this one's a little bold, but I'm gonna go all out here, and this is to my my love for Call of Duty.
Okay, here we
For
go.
one, I personally think that we're gonna get early access to COD 4 Remastered. Reason being is because like I was saying, in the Xbox store, it's dated to a release a month before Infinite Warfare. So I think, and there's a pre-order code you get when you pre-order Infinite Warfare. A beta hasn't been verified, so that code is for something. If it was skins or something like that, they would have announced it like they always do, like with Advanced Warfare, with Black Ops 3, Black Ops 2. If you were getting some stupid gun skin, they would say, "Oh, pre-order now and get the super duper camo and blah 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 blah." Like every single year they do, but
Yeah,
for some odd reason, it's just magically hidden this time.
that is
So
very
I think
true.
you get you get some type of beta or early access to something for doing that.
All right, now for my final E3 prediction, I'm going, of course, for the Neo or the PlayStation 2.5. I think this is kind of necessary at this point since they already came out and said that yes, it is a thing, and no, it's not going to be at E3. Okay, so the fact that it's not going to be at E3, I don't think there's going to be a remodeling of the PlayStation 4. It's going to be exactly the same. It's not going to change at all. I think literally what they're doing is taking a few parts out and putting a few parts in. Is what it sounds like, and that's perfectly fine. But the price point here's the kicker for me. Now they might and they might not. If they announce a price point, that'd be awesome. My prediction actually leans a little bit more on that. They kind of have to at this point because people are already worried about this console thing, this upgrading shit with them in Microsoft. But I think it will come out, and this is from an article that I did see about a day or two ago about how they did say it was going to be more money than the current PS4. So that's only two options at from what I can see. Currently, the PlayStation 4 runs at $350 in the U.S., I believe. And it's either going to be $400, okay, and unless they're stupid, and be $500. If this console comes out and it is $500, Sony shot themselves in the foot. Like, hands down.
I don't think they would. I think 4 450 tops, but not 500. Especially when the original PlayStation 4, being the upgrade that it was from PS3,
Right, was only
started
4.
at 400.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
So,
personally see the original PS4 dropping down to 299 or lower, and this newer PS4 starting at 399. Now they already announced that the newer PS4 they're gonna sell both consoles side by side for the rest of the life cycle.
yep.
So people who own the original don't have to worry. They said this console, the newer one, is going to complement the original model, which is a good thing. And they also clarified that the original model can also run the PlayStation VR. So I really think that this newer version of it is honestly just a luxury kind of thing.
It is a luxury thing. Go ahead and like and subscribe, guys, if you enjoyed this video. We will see you guys next week around probably just after E3. We might come back out here and see if any of our predictions came true. That'd be awesome. So hopefully I can have Tennek back here with us again, and we will see you guys on the next one.
Peace out, guys.
See you later, guys.